feels good to see the ball go through the net. But I think, every game, regardless, you're making shots, you're not, it feels really, really good to have your teammates.
You know that rush when the ball actually drops through the net? Yeah, it's thrilling, but honestly, every single game, whether you're raining threes or airballing, feels insane when your teammates have your back. That's exactly what Lexi Hull admitted. And brace yourself, because the basketball world is practically collapsing after her jaw-dropping revelations. It's completely flipping everything we thought we knew about Caitlin Clark. No one, literally no one, saw this coming. Lexi spilled some crazy behind-the-scenes secrets that give a shocking new perspective on Clark, her journey, and what's secretly happening inside the Indiana Fever. Fans are in total disbelief, teammates can't stop talking, and social media, it's erupting like never before. So, what did Lexi really reveal, and how will it redefine Clark forever? We're breaking down every explosive detail right now. Before the doubts, before the struggles, Lexi Hull was a Stanford legend. She dominated fearlessly, drove her team to a national championship, and oozed confidence, focus, and unmatched drive. So when the Indiana Fever picked her 6th overall, it wasn't only about raw potential. They genuinely believed she could deliver. They spotted someone who could think on the fly, move with precision, and completely reshape the team's identity. But let's be real, the pro stage. A totally different monster. The WNBA's speed, muscle, and relentless pressure aren't just about your body, they're battles for your mind, too. Suddenly, Lexi Hull found herself stuck on the bench far more than expected. Game after game, her precious minutes vanished. And with each tick of the clock, her confidence shrank. Those roaring cheers she once soaked up, now just hollow echoes bouncing around her head, messing with her mindset and making every possession feel heavier than ever. She eventually admitted it. She went from being the heartbeat of a winning squad to just another face on the roster. And she wasn't alone in that sinking feeling. Every player in this league once reigned supreme, the star of their college team. Now, they're all clawing just to be noticed again, to matter once more. But here's the kicker, Lexi's struggle was actually part of something much bigger, something simmering inside the Indiana Fever long before she even stepped in. The team wasn't merely losing games, they were losing faith. Years of defeat had twisted their identity completely. Losing had become the norm, almost inevitable, and the locker room, heavy with quiet resignation. No shiny new talent could mask the lack of accountability or a real winning mentality. And it wasn't just about missed shots, it was about missing purpose. Criticism replaced cheers, and hope thinned every season. Then, like a thunderstorm breaking the calm, Caitlin Clark arrived. Her signing wasn't ordinary, it ignited a total energy upheaval. She walked in with this gravity that just pulled attention from everywhere. The team was suddenly being followed. Arenas were packed and expectations just rose like floodwaters. But for Clark, this wasn't about glitz, fame, or raking in ticket sales. Nope, it was personal. That signature fiery intensity that made her a legend at Iowa. Now it was scorching straight through the Fever's locker room. She didn't come to fit into their culture, she came to rewrite the entire script. Her level of excellence didn't just nudge the team's losing mindset, it declared full-blown war on it. From day one, the shift was glaring. Practices sharpened, conversations roared louder, and the whole place crackled with a new electricity, accountability. Lexi Hull noticed it immediately, not just in Clark's game but in her entire aura. On and off the court, Caitlin Clark exuded a focus that demanded respect. Later, people would marvel at how grounded, thoughtful, and shockingly mature she was behind all that spotlight weight. But that calm, it came with an edge, an unrelenting demand for everyone to match her energy. The real turning point, insiders say, came during an early practice. After sloppy turnovers piled up, Clark froze the drill cold. And what followed wasn't a cute pep talk, it was a total verbal hurricane. She called out multiple veterans, blunt and raw. The gym, dead silent. Tension so thick you could slice it. This wasn't the grinning rookie the media adored. This was the version sculpted in the scorching fires of pure competition. Her words landed like sledgehammers, exposing every crack in a team that had dodged real confrontation far too long. Suddenly, the coaching staff faced a colossal dilemma. Their prized rookie, their golden ticket to relevance, was openly shaking the entire team hierarchy. Her drive? Intense. Absolutely. But also a little dangerous. Rumors swirled about reining her in, telling her to dial it back and ease the chaos she'd stirred. Yet deep down, everyone knew this wasn't destruction, it was a total metamorphosis. So, in a daring move, they let her fire rage. No interference, no silencing, just a quiet bet that her intensity might achieve what years of plans hadn't, finally wake the fever. While some players flinched at Clark's confrontational style, Lexi Hull saw something else entirely. In that pressure cooker moment, with everything hanging by a thread, Lexi realized this was her last shot. Not just another game, not just another drill, it was her defining moment. And rather than shrink under Caitlin Clark's fierce energy, she chose to rise and face it. While some players felt totally swallowed by Clark's blazing fire, Lexi Hull saw it in a completely different light. She recognized a challenge, a rare invitation to awaken that part of herself that thrived under pressure. So, she lingered after practice, drilled extra reps, pushed past sheer exhaustion, and silenced those quiet doubts that had held her back for too long. When Clark stayed late, Lexi was right there, matching her intensity move for move. Two separate flames, burning toward the exact same target. And before long, something extraordinary began to unfold. The spark that had vanished from Hull's game? Slowly, it roared back to life. Together, they crafted a chemistry that electrified the court. Clark's absurd court vision collided with Lexi's reinvigorated hustle with jaw-dropping precision. Caitlin threaded passes through impossible gaps, angles defying all logic, and Lexi was always there to catch, finish, and dominate the rim. What started as tension gradually morphed into deep trust. Coaches and teammates were flabbergasted at the speed of their connection. This bond wasn't born of comfort, it was forged in confrontation, sweat, and frustration, and a shared refusal to back down. Caitlin Clark flipped everything on its head, Hull would later admit. And he wasn't exaggerating. Clark's presence wasn't about stats or flashy highlights, it was raw energy, unwavering belief, and a nearly contagious drive to elevate everyone around her. Lexi Hull's comeback became a massive symbol. If she could rebound from crippling self-doubt, anyone could, and soon the entire Indiana Fever felt it too. Aaliyah Boston started setting tougher screens, knowing Clark would find her every time. Kelsey Mitchell, who had hesitated before, sprinted like every possession mattered. With Clark's sharp eyes missing nothing, even the bench players found renewed fire, pushing harder in practice and feeding off the court's new electricity. The Fever's offense transformed completely, no more predictability, no more stagnation. They played with hunger, born from shared belief. But here's the twist, greatness demands a cost. As the wins piled up, the pressure exploded. The media spotlight, once distant, now scorched like a relentless sun. Lexi Hull, once fading into the background, suddenly faced relentless scrutiny. Every slip, missed shot, and defensive error was dissected online. Fans and analysts tore apart her every move, almost forgetting the person behind the jersey. Still learning to handle this glaring spotlight, the noise was deafening. Yet Lexi refused to break again. She began channeling that pressure into pure fuel, turning it into this quiet strength. In a rare sit-down, she confessed that keeping pace with Clark was far from easy. "It was the toughest thing I've ever done," she admitted. She said, "It flips your whole life upside down. Every day felt like an endurance trial. Think pre-dawn gym sessions, late-night film study instead of sleep, and relentless mental battles with fatigue and self-doubt. Greatness isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It demands sacrifices nobody sees." Yet through it all, something inside her toughened, a resilience that wouldn't budge. She no longer chased perfection for approval, she chased it for herself. And success? It didn't just bring respect, it sparked envy. Across the league, rivals began resenting the Fever's rise. What started as admiration for Clark quickly morphed into hostility. Opponents seized every chance to rough her up, dishing out fouls and cheap hits aimed at breaking her spirit. The message was clear: can't stop her. Break her instead. But the Fever weren't having it. Lexi Hull, now a central emotional anchor, stood unflinching by her teammate. When Clark got hammered by a rival, Lexi rushed the aggressor instantly, her voice slicing through the chaos. Benches nearly cleared, tempers flared, but Lexi's message: crystal clear. Attack Caitlyn, attack all of us. That fiery showdown became defining. The Fever were no longer just a team searching for an identity. They became a united force, battle-hardened and fiercely protective of one another. With Clark's relentless drive and Lexi Hull's rekindled fire, the team discovered something far beyond mere victory. They uncovered brotherhood, loyalty, and an unbreakable bond forged through shared struggle. The real secret to Caitlyn Clark's leadership wasn't in her speeches, it was her presence. No flashy slogans or pep talks needed. Her intensity spoke volumes. That piercing glare after a missed rotation. The surgical precision of her passes demanding readiness. The silent expectation that every player give their absolute all. These became the unspoken laws of her world. Clark didn't make followers, she molded warriors. For Lexi, this was more than a comeback, it was a total rebirth. The grit that once defined her at Stanford returned stronger than ever, shaped by the harsh realities of pro basketball. She wasn't just surviving the league, she was thriving in one of the toughest arenas imaginable. And get this, it was only the start of their saga. Because what came next would challenge not just skill, but trust. How does loyalty survive fame threatening to tear it apart? Stay tuned, the answer will shock you as fame collides with family. When Caitlyn Clark stepped into the WNBA spotlight, the Indiana Fever went from invisible to the nucleus of every sports convo. Tickets vanished within hours. Cameras followed their every motion, and social media exploded. Every play, comment, and facial expression. Nothing escaped the public eye. For most teams, that kind of relentless spotlight could have shattered their foundation. Envy, ego, competing for attention, any of it could have ripped them apart. But Lexi Hull saw something completely different. Something no one saw coming. From day one, she noticed the energy shift. Caitlyn Clark's arrival didn't just add talent, it unleashed a tidal wave of attention that could have swallowed the team whole. Yet, instead of letting the glare divide them, the Fever used it to draw closer. Players like Lexi, battle-tested from brutal league ups and downs, knew envy was easy, but unity was the only path. We felt how much she changed the vibe, Lexi quietly admitted. Instead of fighting it, they learned to ride it. Behind the scenes, the Fever weren't just teammates, they were forging a bond beyond the court. Dinners after late games, bus rides packed with laughter, quiet chats in empty gyms, glue holding them together. Caitlyn wasn't some untouchable superstar, she was one of them. Veterans made sure she never felt alone. Rookies admired her without losing sight of